Sahanavavatu Sahanabhunaktu Sahaviyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanaseva vayonasya vikriyadera sambhavat. Sthirajangama bhutanam hetum tam manvate buddhaha. This Akshara Brahma, the very Chaitanya Tattva, the pure awareness principle, is Avyayam, that which has no Vyayam. Vyayam is loss, decline, destruction, that which has no loss, no decline, no destruction, that is Akshara Brahma. Now, Shruti had further told that Akshara Brahma is Bhuta Yonihi. Yoni, literally Yoni means womb. Womb means the cause. So it is the cause of all bhutas. Bhutas, 5 elements, bhavanti iti bhutani. Those which are born, they can be 5 elements or also the this entire creation, whatever that is, beings that are born. So bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. This was told in the mantra that is explained in the second line of this stanza. Anvaya is Buddhaha tam sthirajangama bhutana hetum manvate. This is what the Jnani is considered. Buddhaha manvate. Jnani is considered so based on their direct the discovery and also based on Shruti, the Pramana. What they consider? Tam. Tam means that Aksharam. That Aksharam. Sthira jangama bhutanam hetum manvate. Manvate, consider it as the hetu. The hetu, the cause of sthira jangama bhutana. Of all the beings, charachara, sthira jangama is charachara, mobile, immobile, means entire creation. This Akshara Brahma, Chaitanya Tattva, is the cause of entire creation in the sense the creation doesn't have existence apart from this, and knowledge also is not possible without this Akshara Brahma Chaitanya. And if the creation has no existence apart from this Akshara Brahma, equally means all of us also have no existence apart from this Akshara Brahma, because the Chaitanya, the very pure awareness principle, is the very basis of each and every being and entire creation, without which a thing exists and is known, and therefore experiences, knowledge, all these are possible. So this way, the Paravidya is now being concluded. Further elaboration will be afterward, but now the Paravidya is being concluded in stanza 18. Yaduktam lakshanam tattu kautasthyadaksharam bhavet. Tadyaya vedyate seyam paravidyeti kirtitam. Anvaya, yaduktam lakshanam tattu kautasthyad aksharam bhavi. Kautasthyad aksharam bhavi. Tadyaya vedyate seyam. Sa iyam by sandhi becomes seyam. Paravidya iti kirtita. Paravidya iti kirtita. Yaduktam lakshanam. The thing whose characteristic features were described so far. From where? Stanza 11 onwards up to here 17. Like Adresham, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Achakshusotram, Apanipadam, Nityam, Vibhum, Sarvagatam, Susukshmam, Avyayam and Bhuta Yonim. So this Yaduktam Lakshanam and means the one which has got this feature, Tattu, such a thing should necessarily be the Akshara. Why? Kautasthya. Kautasthya means because of the nature being Kutastha. Because of nature being Kutastha. What is Kutastha? Avikari, Nirvikari, that which is not subject to any change. All the time same without any change whatsoever. Like Kuta means, Kuta has got two meanings. Here the meaning is taken to be like anvil. You know, anvil, blacksmith's anvil. Nowadays this may be outdated example. So, blacksmith anvil on which, that means red hot iron pieces are kept and hammer to give different shape. The iron piece takes the different shape but not the anvil. Anvil is without any change whatsoever. At the same time, it provides the basis for all the change. Without anvil keeping on the ground, you can't hammer and give the shape to that red hot iron piece. So, like that, this Akshara is also called Kuta. Kuta, why? It is the basis on which entire creation, which is always subject to change, can be born, exist and merges back into that. So that is what, because of the nature of being Kutastha. Kute tishtati iti Kutastha. Also, other way also is there. That meaning is different. There Kuta means Maya, Vanchana, deceit. This Akshara Brahma is where it is available. In Maya, whose nature is what? Vanchana, deceit. Why deceit? It presents you the world which truly is not there. It presents you the one who is nothing but Satchidananda Sarupa as miserable samsari creature. Actually, your true nature, which is Satchidananda Sarupa, can never become samsari, next to impossible. It presents you that which appears as next to impossible. That is what is called Maya. So that is what, like a trick as it were. So in that Maya, it abides, because of which the Jagat is born, exists and gets merged back. So that way therefore Kautasthya, because of the nature being of something that which never gets subject to any change, it is called Akshara, because any Vikari, anything that is subject to change should necessarily get perished. Any change means final outcome is what? Destruction. So this is without change, therefore Akshara, indestructible. And this Akshara Brahma, Tad, this Akshara, that Akshara Brahma, Yaya Vedyati, that by which it is known directly cognized, Sa Iyam, that one, Paravidya iti Kirtita, is called as what? Paravidya. So the Paravidya topic is now temporarily concluded, which will be further taken for elaboration later. Now, this at the end, 17th stanza, second line, it was pointed out, Akshara Brahma is Bhutayoni, the cause for entire creation. This statement is now being doubted. The doubt is, Akshara Brahma cannot be the cause of entire creation. Why? If you take into account the nature of Akshara Brahma, there is no vikara, no change whatsoever possible. Other things also, any birth means some change is there. Earlier cause has undergone some modification to give rise to something. If Akshara Brahma undergoes change, modification, it ceases to be Akshara Brahma, it will be destructive, it will be Kshara as such. So now, the forthcoming mantra answers three doubts that may crop up in the context of the creation from Akshara Brahma. So before that, now here the author introduces those three doubts for which the mantra has told, from Akshara Brahma, Jagat is born like this. The mantra is famous mantra, most of you may be knowing. Yathornanabhisrati grinnati cha yatha prithivyam oshadaya sambhavanti yatha satah purushat kosha kesha lomani tatha aksharat sambhavati ha vishvam. The mantra says like this. How from Akshara Brahma Jagat is born? The three examples, illustrations are given. Yatha urnanabhi srujati grinnati cha. Just said, urnanabhi is spider, matki. And matki, no? Yes. Spider. So, you know what? Have you seen spider? I think Bombay nowadays, the different types are there, not those spider, the big ones there. So that is not this simple cobwebs type this thing. See, spider, do you know what it does? It emits saliva from its mouth. And that saliva can be like what? Fine thread. It hangs itself on the saliva. And it can, what it can do? It can go on swallowing the saliva back. With that, it weaves the web. Now this, that is, all the cobwebs are from where? From its own body. So it projects a net, a web. Also it what? It withdraws unto itself the entire web. So likewise, from Akshara, what is that? This Jagat is born and it is withdrawn unto itself. The point is why it should be given. So why this illustration has to be given will be made clear in this particular stanza. This is one thing. Yatha prathivyam oshadaya sambhavanti. Like on the earth, oshadayaha, vegetation, varieties of vegetation are born from one and the same earth. All these vegetables are what? Different from each other, but they are born from one and the same. There also there is a point why this illustration is given. Third one, yatha satah purushat keshalomani. Just as from a person who is alive, what are born? Keshalomani. The hair on the head, kesha, hair on the body, loma. These are born like that. From Akshara Brahma, Jagat is born. The point is, why these three different illustrations are given by Shruti in the Upanishad? This is the reason that there are three possible doubts, which doubts are being answered by this particular Shruti. What are those doubts? Let us see now. Na yuktam bhutayo nitvam sadhanantara varjana. Ekasmat chetanat bhuri jadanamapyasambhavat. Anvaya. Sadhanantara varjanat ekasmat bhuri jadanam api asambhavat. Bhuri jadanam api asambhavat. Add aksharat. No, take this way. Sadhanantara varjanat ekasmat bhuri asambhavat. Take that way. Bhuri asambhavat. Afterwards, chetanat jadanam api, again asambhavat. Sadhanantara varjanat ekasmat bhuri asambhavat. Chetanat jadanam api, again asambhavat. Further add aksharasya bhutayonitvam na yuktam. Aksharasya bhutayonitvam na yuktam. What you say, that doubt is like this. Aksharasya bhutayonitvam na yuktam. Akshara Brahma, having the status of being the cause of entire creation, na yuktam, is not proper. Why? These are the reasons. What are the reasons? Sadhanantara varjana. Varjanat means rahitatva. See, look, if Akshara Brahma has to create the Jagat, will it require some sadhana means or not? A pot maker makes so many pots from the mud, but he has to have different instruments. Wheel, stick, water, all these other things is required, is it not? Sadhana antara. A goldsmith may make ornaments from the gold, but instruments are required. Now, for Akshara Brahma, which is the any other sadhana, instrument? Why? Sarvagam. That is what? Sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi means what? There is nothing other than that. When there is nothing other than that, how come Akshara create something called creation? Not possible. This is the first doubt. That is what? Sadhanantara varjanat. That is one. That is from Akshara Brahma. Creation is not possible. Doubt number 2 is like this. So that is, the question first is like this. Sadhanantara rahitasya bhutayonitvam katham. A thing which has no other sadhana, sadhanantara rahitasya, that which has no other instrument at one's disposal, bhutayonitvam katham. How do you say it is the cause of the creation? Means it is not possible. This is first doubt. Number 2, ekasmat bhuri asambhava. That is, ekasmat. From a given thing, how come many things be born? That is, a second question is like this. Ekasmat anekesham utpattihi katham. From a given thing, many and varied things, how are they born? See, from a seed, a plant, tree, etc. are born of what type? Of the same type. Can you expect the mangoes from a neem tree? Many neem trees are there. Have you seen here? Do you know the purpose? Huh? What is the reason? Medicinal, but why they have chosen, do you know? Have you seen other trees there? What are the other trees? Tamarind trees are there. Tamarind trees means what? Health is gone. If you live near tamarind tree means health is gone. And neem tree means you can regain the health. You know, in olden days there is a story. One famous Ayurvedic doctor, Vaidya, was there. Equally another Ayurvedic Vaidya was there. And that Vaidya wanted to test this, who? The Vaidya who was very famous. Do you know what he did? In olden days he called his servant. Look, I am giving a note to you. Go to such and such. That is who? Vaidya. And give it to him. And not like this nowadays trains and flights, etc. He has to walk for 1 month to reach that Vaidya. But one condition. See, look, every day, night, when you have to stop somewhere, you should sleep under a tamarind tree. This fellow was hale and hearty. This servant was hale and hearty. You should sleep under a tamarind tree. This is the condition. After all, a master, because he was loyal to his master, there must be some purpose. Because these are Vaidyas are there, some purpose must be there. Meticulously he observed that every day, night, he used to have food somewhere, etc. and sleep under the tamarind tree. After 1 month, he reached the Vaidya, gave the, he doesn't know what is there in the note. He gave the Vaidya. You know what happened? By 1 month, his health was totally gone. He had many problems. So that famous Vaidya saw, you know what was written? This Vaidya, I am sending you a patient, please treat him. By that time he had many problems, health problems. I am sending you a patient, please treat him. He asked, he inquired, what are you doing, etc. And that Vaidya could find out what? All 1 month he was sleeping under the tamarind tree. You know what it is? You do one thing, you go back. You go back to your master, but do one thing. While returning, every day sleep under a neem tree. He doesn't know what it is all about, because master is sent and this person is saying that. And actually he didn't complain, but he found out that this was because the master said he's a patient. So therefore he found out and what were the problems he could detect. So therefore he said, sleep under a neem tree. After 1 month he reached back his master, hale and hearty. He understood. What he understood? He is a genuine Vaidya, not an ordinary fellow as such. So therefore these tamarind trees have got that adverse effect. Even eating too much of tamarind, and therefore what? Western commode is required. Or you have to sit on the chair. Not only tamarind, any sour thing has got this problem. Sour thing, that is one of the bare minimum is okay, that is fine for C vitamin, etc. But afterwards it creates problems. Like dahi. For Gujarati is what? Every alternate day, Srikhand. Srikhand. And afterwards problems of this rheumatic, etc. problems come. So that is how it, anyway. So fine. So that is what neem tree akhyana it is. Okay, that is fine. So now here says Esha, that is that is Ekasmad dhuri api asambhava. From one, many and varied things cannot be brought. From a neem tree, mango fruit cannot be bought. From a mango tree, you can't have neem fruits. Like that, a given seed gives rise to a particular of the same variety. How is it possible? From one and the same Akshara Brahma Chaitanya, variegated, many and variegated Jagat can be born. Second question, that is what is that? Ekasmad anekesham utpattihi katham. The third one, doubt is like this. Chetanad jadanam api asambhava. From chetana, from sentient thing, something that is jada, inert, how can it be born? It is not possible. A sentient thing cannot give rise to inert jagat. So therefore asambhava, therefore conclusion is aksharasya bhutayonitvam na yuktam. Akshara Brahma being the cause of entire Jagat, which has got many and varied things and also inert thing, is not possible. The answer to this is now given in 2 stanzas, 20 and 21. Now you will find why this Yathornanabhi, etc. Shruti has given 3 different illustrations to answer these 3 the doubts. Now first, in 20, what was the first question? Sadhanantara rahitasya bhutayonitvam katham. If Akshara Brahma is all-pervasive, one and the same, without anything other than itself, how is it ever possible for Jagat to be born from Akshara? So that answer, that Sadhanantara rahitya cannot be the cause by which you can dismiss that Akshara Brahma is not the cause of Jagat, means, so that is without sadhanantara also creation is possible. Purnanabhiryatantun srujati samharatyapi. Anyanapekshastadvat syadaksharasyapi hetuta. Yatha purnanabhihi anyanapekshah, add sun. Yatha purnanabhihi anyanapekshah, add sun. Tantun srujate samharati api tadvat aksharasya api hetuta syat. Aksharasya api hetuta syat. Yatha, just as Urnanabhi, as in the case of a spider, what does it do? Anyanapekshaha san. without depending anything else other than itself. Without depending anything else other than itself, what does it do? Tantu, those fibers. So those fibers, srujati, creates, projects. Also it what? Samharati api. It also withdraws unto itself. It's very interesting. Weave the web. See, hanging on that fiber, they can come down. And again they can what? Go up, swallowing the same thing, withdrawing unto itself. So here, an illustration is that without the help of something other than itself, it has created something and had withdrawn unto itself. That is only the point to be taken into account. So tadvat, in the same manner, samvarati means not destroys, withdraws unto itself. So tadvat, in the same manner, aksharasya api hetutasya. Even the case of akshara brahma, hetuta. What hetuta? Jagataha hetuta. The cause of jagataha hetutasya. It becomes the cause of jagat without the sadhanantara. So no other sadhanas are there, cannot be the reason to deny the bhuta yonitva of akshara brahma. Now next question was, how can many be born, many and variegated things be born from one and the same thing? That is now answered. Answered up to bhumer jata. Thereafterwards, how from jada, and how jada things can be born from chetana will be afterwards. Bhavau shadyo yathaikasya bhume jata yatha jadaha. केशाश्चेतनतो जातास्तथा त्वक्षरतो जगत् यथा एकस्याः भूमेः बहुऔषध्यः जाताः. This phrase is answer how from one many can be born. And next rest of the portion answers how jada things can be born from something that is sentient. Yatha jadaha keshaha chetanataha jataha tatha tu aksharataha jagat jatam. Aksharataha jagat jatam. Yatha, just as ekasyaha bhumi, from one and the same earth. What are born? Bahuvaushadyaha, many and varied types of plants, trees, vegetation are born. Earth is one, but vegetation varied. So likewise, why not from Akshara Brahma, many and varied Jagat be born? So it is possible. Then, how Jada is born from Chetana? Yatha, just as Jadaha, Keshaha, just as the inert hair. Hair is inert or sentient? If hair were sentient, barbers will either they won't exist or they will starve, because that is what it is. Nails also, are they inert or not? Inert. So that's where. So from where are they born? The living being. The living being is inert or sentient? From sentient, inert things can also be born. Just an illustration, such things are possible, that's all. So, that says, Yatha jadaha keshaha chetanataha. Chetata means from a living being who is sentient. Jataha tatha tu aksharataha. From akshara, Brahma says, Jagat jatam. The world is born. So therefore that is why Shruti gives three illustrations. The order in which the Jagat is born. So that is now being elaborated based on Mundakopanishad 118. So in the 8th mantra, first Mundaka, first section, describes the order, the krama in which the Jagat is born. So there it is said, tapasa chiyate brahma, tato nam abhijayate, annad pranaha manas satyam lokaha karmasucha amritam. This is the order that is being given. First of all, tapasa chiyate brahma. Brahma is what happens to Brahma? Chiyate. Chiyate can mean literally grows, or here it means gets endowed with. Chiyate. Gets endowed with. Tapasa. All this will be explained in the stanzas one by one. Tapasa. What is tapasa here? Not ascetic practice. The knowledge of creation. Knowledge of creation. Brahma first gets endowed with the knowledge of creation. Then tataha, from that Brahma which is endowed with tapas, the knowledge of creation, which will be described afterward. Annam abhijayate. Anna is born. Anna here is not food. Avyakta state. The unmanifest state of the creation is called as Annam. Avyakta is born Abhijayati. From that Avyakta, Annat, Pranaha. Prana is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha. Then Manaha. The same Hiranyagarbha from the Kriya Shakti aspect, from the Jnana Shakti aspect called as macrocosmic Manaha. Satyam. Satyam stands for 5 elements, Pancha Mahabhuta. Why Pancha Mahabhutas are called Satyam will be seen afterward. Then Lokaha, Bhuhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Mahajanaha, Tapaha, Satyam, Atala, Vitala, Talatala, Sutala, Patala, all these Mahatala, etc., all these 14 Lokas. 14. Then Karma Sucha Amritam. Karma and Amrita. Amrita stands for Karma Phala. Why Karma Phala is called Amrita? Amrita means immortal in the sense Avashyam Bhavi. Having performed a karma, that result should necessarily take place. There is no other go than that. So in this manner, the creation takes place. The same Srishti Krama, the author is now one by one, the order in which it is born is being now described. Brahmano jagadutpatti kramo yamavagamyatam. Vakshamanena tapasa brahmada upachiyate. Brahmanaha jagadutpattihi ayam kramaha avagamyata. Brahmanaha jagadutpattihi ayam kramaha avagamyata. Adau, there is a Brahma Adau Upachiyate, Sandhi breaking. Brahma Adau Upachiyate, take first Adau Brahma Vakshamanena tapasa Upachiyate. Adau Brahma Vakshamanena tapasa Upachiyate. First he introduces the topic. So please know the order in which Srishti takes place, the creation takes place. Please know the Srishti Krama. Brahmanaha jagadutpattihi ayam kramaha avagamyata. Brahmanaha, 5th case. From Brahma, how the Jagat is born of that kramaha, the ayam kramaha, this order, avagamyata. Please note it. May you please know the order in which the Jagat is born from Brahma. What is the order? This is the order. Adau. First of all, what happens? Brahma vakshamanena tapasa upachiyate. First of all, Brahma gets what? Upachiyate, gets endowed with. Literally it can mean grows as it were. Illustration will be given. Gets endowed with. Why? By what? Vakshamanena tapasa. By the tapas, because the moment you say tapas, what is our concept? Some ascetic practice, standing on one leg or standing in the water up to neck or with the hands raised up for ages, and afterward they become useless also. Like something unusual, out of the world. Or of course, tapas has got its role, but tapas not any foolish tapas. Tapas, as told in the Shruti, has got its own role and benefits also. Like that, tapasa, that is not the tapas here meant. What is the tapas? Vakshamanena tapasa. The tapas that is going to be described later here in stanza 23 and also 29. What is that tapas means? The knowledge of creation. See, before creating something, you should have the technical know-how, as it were, how you are going to produce or create. That knowledge of creation is called as tapas, will be seen in 23 and 29. So, Adav Brahma. So, what happened? Vakshamanena tapasa, by the tapas that is going to be described, upachiyate, grows or gets endowed with this type of tapas, the knowledge of creation. So, what is that tapas is now being described in this stanza 23. Afterwards also in 29 it will be hinted. That is, Srujyamana vastu vishayini buddhi. Buddhi means knowledge. Knowledge what type of? Srujyamana vastu vishayini. Knowledge related to the things that are going to be created right now. That is what is tapas told in the Shruti. Tapasa chiyate brahma. So this is what tapas is, which is explained with the help of an illustration. Ankurotpadakam bija muchchunam syad yatha jalat. Uchchunam, ra is not there. Srujyasya buddhya sanyuktam syad brahmopachitam tatha. Yatha ankurotpadakam bijam jalat uchchunam syat tatha srujyasya buddhya sanyuktam brahma upachitam syat. Tatha srujyasya buddhya sanyuktam brahma upachitam syat. Illustration is like this. A seed germinating. First what happens? You see? If you put in that means soil, it may not be seen. Keep in a bowl or something water and keep the seed, like moong, etc. No? Moong, etc. So sprouting. You know, first what happens? Before the first, that even the smallest tip of the sprout appears, do you know what happens? It gets little swollen, as it were. It gets bulged. No? That is what is that. Yatha, just as ankurotpadakam bijam. The seed which produces the sprout. Ankura, the sprout. First what happens? Jalat uchchunam sya. So, by water, it becomes swollen. Tatha, in the same manner, now don't imagine, just as what? The seed gets swollen, Brahma gets swollen, then you have to call doctor now. But doctors will not be there. Why? No creation, nobody is born. Creation yet to take place. Doctor to come into existence, first Pancha Mahabhutas must be there, then human beings must be there. Those human beings have to conduct research in terms of medicine, then they will come there. But we are talking of Akshara before the creation has come into existence. So what is this illustration should be understood properly. What is meant is, for a seed to germinate, to produce the sprout, the first change that is seen is what? Swollen. Some of us swelling as such. What is meant is the first change. That's all. Don't go beyond that. So that no swelling or nothing is there. I have seen this. So in some documentary, nowadays in video say that they have shown that the creation cosmos is being created. Chuk, 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 chuk. Something like egg-like thing is shown, and that what? It is what like that? It contracts, expand, contract, expand. Nothing like that as such is there. Say, this is the first change. Earlier what was that? Nothing but Akshara Brahma and Brahma alone. No sign whatsoever of. Now what happened? The first change. At times it happens. Sunday afternoon you are reclining in the easy chair. Suddenly what happened? You remembered and got up and started running here and there. Why? Oh, I should have done that. I have to do that. And how to do that? Everything comes and you start acting. That is first, just getting up with a jump. That is what? Like here, like that, swelling as it were. That's all. The first thing that is that change that comes into existence. That is what it is. Don't take really literally that it gets swollen and all that. So here, tatha, in the same manner, srujyasya buddhya. Srujyasya srujyamanasya jagataha. Of the jagat that is going to be now created. So, buddhya. Buddhya means jnanena. By the knowledge of the creation that is right now going to be created. What happens? Sanyuktam Brahma. The Brahma endowed with this buddhi, and that is what is called, that knowledge is called as tapas. So Brahma upachitam syat. Upachitam syat means gets endowed or grows as it were like a swollen seed. Means the first change has taken place. What is that? Sankalpa. Oh, this way the jagat has to be created. This way. Is it not? Suppose a manufacturer wants to manufacture something. First, what is required? Technical know-how. But afterwards, raw material and for labor force and machinery, etc. will be afterwards. First, he should have technical know-how. Without that, he can't proceed. Knowledge must be first. So therefore, it gets endowed with this knowledge. You may ask, how, etc. Afterwards, it's going to be told on account of Maya Shakti. Because of Maya Shakti, it gets endowed. Wherein this provision for such knowledge is there, so it gets endowed. It's there. But this is the first stage. Brahma upachitam grows or gets endowed with this knowledge of creation. Bhogyavargankurakyam yad annam tajjayate tataha. Avyakritam vyachikirshavastaam annamihochyate. See, stanza 23 has explained, tapasa chiyate brahma. That from that mantra. Now, tato nam abhijayate. This phrase is now explained in this stanza 24. Tato nam abhijayate tataha. From that Brahma, endowed with the knowledge of creation. So, annam means avyakta, unmanifest condition of jagat comes into existence. That is now being explained. Anvaya. Tataha yad Bhogyavargankurakyam. Bhogyavargankurakyam annam tad jayate. Vyachikirshavastaam avyakrutam iha annam puchyate. Vyachikirshavastham avyakritam iha annam uchyate. Tataha. Tataha means from that. What is that from that? From that. What is from that? Not simply Akshara Brahma. Upachitat Brahmana. Upachitat Aksharat Brahmana. Not simply Brahma. The Brahma which has got endowed with the knowledge of creation. Because first stage is over now. The second stage. So therefore that is Tataha means Upachitat Aksharat or Upachitat Brahmana. So what happens? Yad, whatever that is, Annam. What is that Annam? Avyakrita. Annam. What is that Annam will be explained in the second line. Whatever Annam. What type of it is? Bhogya Vargankurakyam. Bhogya Varga. Varga means Samuha. Bhogya Samuha. What is Bhogya? Can anyone give derivation? Bhoktum yogyam bhogyam. That which is fit to be experienced. You can't say simply enjoyed because it can be suffering also. So that which is fit to be experienced. Bhoktum yogyam bhog. That is bhojyam. So gantum yogyam gamyam. So like that. So whatever that is fit to be experienced, that is what bhogya. Varga means samuha. So the aggregate, the collection of all that is meant for experiencing. What is it? Prapancha. Entire Jagat, the creation. So bhogya varga ankurakyam. That which is called akyam. Akyam means called as ankura, the sprout of bhogya varga. Means the first manifestation. Earlier there was no manifestation, only it got endowed with like a swollen seed. But when the tip of the sprout appears, something is emerging or not. So that first manifestation, that is what is called here bhogya varga ankurakyam. Yad, whatever that is. Annam, whatever that is called. Anna. That Anna called, the Anna called as the Ankura of the Bhogya Varga Bhogya Samuha. That Annam Tat Jayate means whatever that is such a sprout as it were, that is born. Now the question comes, what is Anna? We know Anna as food. So what is meant by Anna when Shruti uses the word? So Vidyaranya Muni explain, Vyachikirshavastham avyakritam. The avyakrita, unmanifest condition of the Jagat, which is on the verge of getting manifested. Vyachikirsha avastha. See, Vyachikirsha is desiderative. Vyakartum ichha vyachikirsha. Desire to, vyakartum means manifest. Desire to, you know this word vyakrita, avyakrita. Vyakrita is what? Manifest. Avyakrita is what? Unmanifest. So here, vyakartum ichha. Desire to project or manifest what is called vyachikirsha. So, vyachikirsha vastham avyakritam. Avyakrita in a condition to, or which is on the point of creating something or desiring to create something. A doubt is possible if, and that is what is called, let us see. That is what avyakritam iha means in the Mundaka Shruti Upanishad, annam uchyate is called as anna. What is anna here is the avyakrita condition, unmanifest condition of the Jagat, which is now wanting to project or create the Jagat. The doubt is like this. Avyakrita condition of the Jagat, unmanifest condition of the world, is it inert or sentient, jada or sachetana? Jada. How can a jada thing desire something? Vyachikirsha is there. Vyakartum ichha, desire to create. How come an inert thing desire to do something? Huh? What is it?
No, no, that's Maya, okay. Everything is possible by Maya. That is good. But why it is called a discrete when you are talking of avyakta unmanifest condition, which is, it is, we do use such, we have such usages in the parlance, common parlance also. See, like this. The river bank wants to fall. In the Sanskrit, Kulam pipatishati. Kulam means what? The river bank. Pipatishati means patitum ichhati pipatishati. Wants to fall, desires to fall. Anytime? Means it is on the verge of falling. The mountain wants to fall. The landslide is that just what? Already tick started now. It's about, boulders are now is just about to come down as such. So that on the being on the verge of, that is creation. So that is figuratively said as what? That avyakrita at the point is at the point of wanting to create something, desiring to create. It is the other unmanifest cannot have desire. So that is the avyakta, that is desirous of becoming vyakta, manifest, is called annam. And what you mean by desirous means that avyakta which is on the verge of manifesting the jagat. That is what it's called. So annam iha uchyati. Here it is called. So now what happened? Tapasa chiyate brahma, over. Then what was that? Tataha annam abhijayate. Now further Shruti says, annat pranaha manaha satyam. So these things in the order that are born from anna avyakrita, prana hiranyagarbha, mana also the knowledge aspect of hiranyagarbha, and satyam pancha mahabhutas. This is what is now being explained. Tasmadannat kriya shakti prano jnanasya sadhanam. Manascha jayata sthulam satyakhyam bhuta panchakam. Tasmad annad kriya shakti pranaha. Put a comma there. You can add there, ajayata also can be taken, pranaha ajayata. The ajayata comes at the last for all the three. Three things are there. Tasmadannat kriya shakti pranaha, comma. Jnanasya sadhanam manaha, put a comma. Jnanasya sadhanam manaha. Further, sthulam satyakhyam bhuta panchakam cha ajayata. Sthulam satyakhyam bhuta panchakam cha ajayata. Actually, this ajayata can be taken with all the three sentences. Tasmadannat kriya shakti pranaha ajayata. Jnanasya sadhanam manaha ajayata. Sthulam satyakhyam bhuta panchakam cha ajayata. All these three were born. So what is that? Tasmad anna. From that anna, what is anna? Avyakrita condition, unmanifest condition, jagat. What was born? Kriya shakti pranaha ajayata. See, kriya shakti, adjective for prana. What is prana here? Do you know what is prana here? One of the name of Hiranyagarbha is pranaha. So therefore here, kriya shakti prana means kriya pradhana hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha mainly from the standpoint of aspect of action, activity. Because Hiranyagarbha also stands for knowledge aspect. See, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. The Kriya Shakti aspect standpoint. So here, Kriya Shakti Prana is Kriya Pradhanaha Hiranyagarbha. The Hiranyagarbha, from the standpoint of the actual activities, Kriya. Then, Jnanasya sadhanam manaha ajayata. Again here, Jnanasya sadhanam mana is Jnana pradhana hiranyagarbha. Here mana is not individual mind. It is macrocosmic mind aspect of hiranyagarbha. So, Jnanasya sadhanam mana is the samashti manaha, the macrocosmic mind in the Jnana pradhana hiranyagarbha. Ajayata, born. Further, sthulam satyakhyam bhuta panchakam cha ajayata. The gross 5 elements called as satya. Satyakhyam. Satyakhyam is called as satya. Why these 5? You know 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? Earth, water, fire, air, space. Why is it called satyam? Because there are 2 words. In Taittiriya we find Sat and Tyat. Sat stands for that which is Murta, which has got form. Among 5 elements which have got form, earth, water and fire. These 3 is called Prithvi, Ap, Tejaha are called as what? Sat, with the form, also called Murta. Amurta without formation. Then Tyat, those which have no form, Vayu, air and Akasha, space, are called as Tyat. So there we have got the 5 elements are in 2 divisions, Sat and Tyat. Sat stands for earth, water, Tyat for Vayu and Akasha. So what do you do now? You delete the takara from both and join. What happens? Satyam. Sat retains sa, takara deleted. Tyat retain tya, remove takara, satyam. That's such derivation the derivations are there. So the bhuta panchaka, the gross 5 elements, so that is called as satyam. Why they are called Satyam? Satyam means what? Truth. Truth means that which always 5 elements are not the ones which are always there. So long as the creation is there, they are there. But in the creation, they are relatively Satya. Why? The creation may change, but the 5 elements will be there. Nama Rupas may change, the basic 5 elements will be there. Really not totally, relatively Satya, therefore they are called Satyam. Further, what was born? Satyam ho gaya. Lokaha karmasu cha amrutam. So this is now being explained. Tato bhumyadayo loka jyotishthomadi karmasu. Amrutakhyam svarga phalamitham sarvamajayata. Anvaya tataha bhumyadayaha lokaha jyotishthomadi karmasu amrutakhyam svarga phalam itham sarvam ajayata. As it is. We'll see that. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayannam nyayena margena mahimahesha brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanya prithvi sasya shalini desho yangsho varayitah brahmana santu nirbhayah. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaśyid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amsamgamaya. Om purnamadaః purnamidam purnamudachyate
पूर्णस्य पूर्णादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्।